Hello everyone, it's your boy Marcus Adeyemi Cole. We have a big topic today to discuss, and it's about the big comeback of the Nigerian stock market. What exactly is going on? Let's find out.
Hey, welcome back. Today, we're diving into something pretty wild. One of the most dramatic financial comeback stories I've seen in a while. We're talking about the Nigerian stock market and its absolutely incredible resurrection. So, let's get right into it. Okay, so think about this for a second. What if a market's absolute worst day, its biggest crash, actually paved the way for its most incredible rebound? Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, that is exactly the story we're going to break down today. So here's the big news. Nigerian stocks haven't just recovered. In a truly stunning turnaround, they have completely wiped out the massive losses that came from a major currency devaluation just 2 years ago. And remember, that was a move that basically cut the value of the market in half for international investors.
You know, what's really mind-blowing here is just how fast all of this happened. I mean, look at this timeline. In January 2024, the market is in total crisis mode. Its value in US dollars gets chopped in half, just like that. But then, fast forward to 2025, and suddenly everything flips. Foreign investors who ran for the hills are now flooding back in at a pace we haven't seen in almost 20 years. And now, here we are in early 2026, and the market isn't just back. It's actually worth more than before the crash. That's not just a recovery, that's a rocket ship.
So what's really going on here? How on earth does a market pull off a comeback like this? Let's get into the anatomy of this rally.
First up, get a load of this number, 31%. The benchmark index, which is kind of like the overall health report for the market, has jumped 31% just this year. In dollar terms, that makes it the second best performing stock market on the entire planet. It's not just doing well, it's practically leading the global pack.
And the scale of this thing is just huge. This rally has pumped an extra $21 billion into the market's value. That brings the total worth of all the companies listed, the total capitalization, to around $84 billion. I mean, that is a massive vote of confidence from investors.
Now, let's talk about where a lot of that money is coming from. Foreign investors. In 2025, transactions from foreign players more than tripled from the year before, hitting almost 2 trillion naira. Now, that translates to about 1.97 times billion US dollars. That's the highest level since way back in 2007, and it's a huge signal that international capital is officially back in the game.
So you might be asking, what caused all this? And the crucial thing to understand is that this wasn't just some random market luck. Nope. This was all kicked off by a massive policy change from President Tinubu's administration. See, for years, Nigeria had this really complicated, messy system for its currency. Multiple exchange rates that, frankly, scared off a lot of foreign investors. It was just too confusing. So the new government came in and basically said, let's clean this up. They unified it into one single market-driven rate. The whole point was to make things clear, transparent, and way more attractive for outside money. And you know what? It totally worked. The Naira got stronger, and that lit the fuse for this incredible stock market boom.
Okay, but here's where the story gets a lot more complicated. Because while all the market data is painting this beautiful rosy picture, the conversation among everyday Nigerians, well, that's a very different story.
On the one hand, you've absolutely got the investors, people like Nairaland user Basic123, who are just thrilled. And why wouldn't they be? For them, this rally is very real. They're watching their portfolios grow, and you could feel that genuine excitement about their financial gains. And that feeling of optimism definitely extends to the future. You see folks like Kid Furniture looking at this and seeing it as a sign of great things to come, linking the health of the market directly to a brighter future for the whole country.
But then you get the other side of the story. You hear from people like Kyul7, who are basically saying, hold on a second. For them, and for a lot of Nigerians, the stock market might as well be on another planet. What really hits home is the price of food, the cost of living. And as long as that stuff isn't getting better, they're saying the economy still feels like it's in shambles. A booming market doesn't put food on the table, right?
And then user reference adds another really critical point, asking if these gains are even real once you factor in that initial currency hit and all the inflation since then. In other words, is the market truly ahead, or is it just playing catch-up from a really deep hole?
And right there, that's the central debate at the heart of Nigeria's economic story right now. Do we have a genuine boom on our hands, or is it totally disconnected from the day-to-day reality for most people?
So you've got these two powerful competing stories. The bull case says, look at the data.
Investors are making money, foreign capital is flowing back in. This is the foundation for real growth down the road. But the bear case pushes back, arguing that none of that really matters if the cost of living is still sky high. For them, the real economy isn't on the stock exchange. It's what you see at the local market.
So where do things go from here? What does the future hold, not just for investors, but for the broader Nigerian economy?
Well, a lot of analysts think this rally might just be getting warmed up. There are projections out there that see the market blowing past a staggering $100 billion valuation, and a huge piece of that puzzle is the expected arrival of massive new companies on the exchange, like the giant Dangote refinery. I mean, if that happens, it could pour a whole lot more fuel on this fire.
And all of this leaves us with one final crucial question. There is no doubt that Nigeria's market is soaring, but as it climbs to these new heights, the big question that remains is this: will the benefits be felt by just a select few at the top, or will the whole nation get to ride that tailwind? That's the story we'll all be watching. Thanks for joining us.
Share, like, subscribe to our channel for more updates.